They called him the Golden Child of the Nile. Born during a rare solar eclipse when the sun god Ra himself seemed to bow to earth, Ramses II was destined for greatness, or so the ancient scrolls tell us. Ramses' very name, meaning born of Ra, linked him to Egypt's most powerful deity, the sun god. Egyptian society was deeply religious, and Ra was seen as the king of gods, a creator of life and light. Being born of Ra was more than a title, it was a divine endorsement, a sign that Ramses was not just a ruler, but a bridge between mortals and the heavens. His father, Pharaoh Seti I, took this destiny seriously. From an early age, Ramses' life was disciplined. While other children played, Ramses trained alongside soldiers, learning the arts of war and governance. By age 10, he was already titled Commander of the Army, leading troops in exercises and learning from Egypt's finest warriors. By 15, Seti made him Prince Regent, entrusting him with the responsibilities of rulership. And it wasn't just a symbolic role. Records show Ramses actively leading campaigns in Nubia and managing Egyptian territories. By the time he ascended to the throne, he was more than prepared. As a young ruler, Ramses faced his first major test against Egypt's rival, the Hittite Empire. At the city of Kadesh, in what is now Syria, the two superpowers clashed in one of the most famous battles of the ancient world. Ramses' scouts had failed him. The Hittites ambushed his divided forces, catching Ramses with only his personal guard and a fraction of his army. Thousands of enemy chariots closed in, and defeat seemed certain. But Ramses fought on. Leading his men directly into the Hittite lines, he held the enemy off long enough for reinforcements to arrive. The battle ended in a stalemate, but Ramses seized the moment to rewrite history. Back in Egypt, Ramses launched a groundbreaking propaganda campaign. He filled temple walls with scenes of Kadesh, carving himself as a godlike warrior fighting thousands alone. To the Egyptian people, Ramses became more than a pharaoh. He was a hero, a protector of Egypt, blessed by the gods. But Ramses knew that true greatness wasn't just in battles, it was in what you built. He embarked on the most ambitious building campaign in Egyptian history, transforming Egypt's landscape with monuments that would echo his legacy. At Abu Simbel, Ramses commissioned colossal statues of himself, carved into the cliffs and aligned so that the sun would shine upon him and Ra twice a year. These monuments weren't just for Egypt, they sent a clear message to neighboring kingdoms. Ramses wanted the world to know he was a god on earth. He also built Pi Ramesses, a city so grand that its legend endured for centuries. This capital was a hub of trade, a military center, and a showcase of Egyptian power. Archaeologists believe that over 300,000 people lived there, making it one of the ancient world's great cities. While Ramses' ambitions seemed boundless, he was also known for his devotion to his great royal wife, Nefertari. In her honor, he built one of Egypt's most beautiful temples, dedicated not just to the gods, but to her. On the temple walls, he inscribed messages of affection, calling her the one for whom the sun shines. This wasn't typical for Egyptian pharaohs. Ramses' devotion to Nefertari showed his people that he was a man of both strength and heart. 2 decades after the battle, Ramses achieved something unprecedented, a formal peace treaty with the Hittites. This treaty wasn't just an end to hostilities, it was a comprehensive agreement covering mutual defense, trade, and even the extradition of fugitives. So profound was this treaty that a copy hangs today in the United Nations, a reminder of Ramses' wisdom not only as a warrior, but as a diplomat. As the decades passed, Ramses became something no other pharaoh had, a living god. To the Egyptians, he was a divine figure, a link to Ra, who they believed granted him his extraordinary life. At Abu Simbel, this divinity is clear. Twice each year, the sun aligns to light the statues of Ramses and Ra, symbolizing Ra's eternal approval of his chosen son on earth. Even in his lifetime, Ramses was a legend. And even in death, Ramses lives on. His mummy, carefully preserved in Cairo, reveals the man behind the legend. We know he was about 5'7", with reddish hair in youth, likely suffering from arthritis in his later years. Yet he remained Egypt's guiding force to the very end. Ramses the Great wasn't just a ruler. He was a visionary, a strategist, a builder, and a god to his people. His monuments still tower over Egypt's sands. His peace treaty remains a symbol of diplomacy, and his architectural and cultural achievements continue to inspire. 3,000 years have passed, but Ramses still stands among us. In the stones of Abu Simbel, in the memory of P. Ramesses, and in the legacy of a man who sought not only to rule, but to be remembered. As the sun rises over his temples each day, Ramses' spirit, like his beloved Ra, casts a light that refuses to fade. Thank you for joining us on History Watch as we explore the pivotal moments that define our past. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to discover more histories each week.